Celtics Beat is brought to you by Prize Picks and the Game Time app.
Welcome in, everyone. New Celtics Beat. Thrilled to be here with you. Adam Kaufman, Evan Valenti. We are always here, but our special guest, who, of course, is a former NBA Finals MVP. Although, honestly, you don't even have to say former. It's not like they take it away from you. An NBA Finals MVP, a Celtics legend, a longtime commentator, and still on the radio broadcast. And, of course, part of the CLNS Media Network as well. Cedric Maxwell. Max, how are you?
I am doing excellent, guys. Long days, but the Boston Celtics right now are look like they're in the driver's seat when it comes to possibly going to Vegas.
We got a lot of stuff to get to, of course, for people out there wondering, and I can't imagine anyone is out there wondering, because if you're listening to the show, you're probably a diehard Celtics fan. Vegas? Why would they go to Vegas? Well, that is, of course, chasing that in-season tournament, that Emirates NBA Cup. I'll save my thoughts on the NBA Cup. A lot's happened in the last week since we had a show. Ho-hum, 3 Celtics wins.
Hold up, Kaufman.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, can we give the guy a little happy birthday?
Well, listen, I'm going to get there. I'm going to say, here's what I was going to say. Have you ruined it? I was going to say 3 Celtics wins, Cavaliers' first loss, a White House trip, but most importantly, a happy belated birthday to Max.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Happy 69, and I feel like I'm 49, but except for my knees, they feel like they're 89. But I don't think I'm gonna be running down the court anytime soon. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Did you do anything fun to celebrate?
No. When you start to get older, you're just happy. The next morning comes that you're good. You're still getting out of bed. You're still moving. So no. It was just a little bit of stuff with some friends, but other than that, not much of anything. Not those days when you used to put the salad bag on and they're having to drag you back or carrying you in the car. You got 2 people on both on these shows.
That's right.
I'm not doing that. I'm good.
I got a quick question for Max, because what was great was CLNS put out a video of you. You're walking, looking cool as hell, walking down the hallway to where, wherever you were headed. But my question is, because this is my industry here, where are you getting 4-button suits, Max? Because I work in this industry. I don't know where the hell you're getting those.
You still going overseas for these?
That will be called right now Thailand, my friend. And you can do a 4-button suit if you're 6'8", 275.
No question.
Yeah, you can do. Now, a smaller guy, we don't recommend you doing all those buttons, but I can carry that extra button that I love to use.
Didn't it used to be like South Korea or where?
It was Itaewon, South Korea. I used to go all the time. I haven't been in a while. Guy called me about a month ago and asked me, when you coming back to Korea? When you coming back? I want your business. But I just haven't had the opportunity. Since when COVID came and COVID left, I don't think I've been too many other places like going out of the States.
So you haven't even been leaving the state of Massachusetts too much lately. I was all prepared to say, how was the White House? Everyone's posting their pictures, all the media, the players, walking, like Tatum's taking a picture with Obama picture behind. Everyone's just taking the tour, having the time of their lives. Not only did you not go, and you had a good reason, I'll let you, share that with the people, but you've never been, despite the Celtics' success over the years, and that blew me away.
Yeah, it's really strange. I have a video clip, and I'll try to share it with you one day, of Ronald Reagan using my name at the White House, and red R back behind him, and said Cedric Maxwell had 24 points and 8 and then they asked, then he used my name again. It was so cool, but I've never gone. I think the only time I'm going to go now is going to be maybe like a White House tour. And I can't imagine that. And I'll ask you the question. I asked him off the record a minute ago, and I'll ask you now: is this the last NBA team that's going to go to the White House for the next 4 years?
Great question. I mean, I'm not going to be anywhere near an NBA franchise that's going to win a title for the next 4 years, so I won't know. But I know Gary Washburn, I think, wrote an article about this in the Globe yesterday, 2 days ago. So it's certainly something to consider. I mean, I like that Jalen said when they were there, like, being here is not a political statement, but if my boys were at the White House or Waffle House, I'm going to be with them, no matter what. I thought was a really great quote, and it's like,
wow,
it's really not about
he shot the Waffle House and the White House in the same line.
Oh yeah, but
that man's a damn genius.
He is. That's true.
The White House. Damn.
Yeah, he's going everywhere, and that's like, it's more about a celebration of team accomplishments, I guess. I don't know.
Why didn't he use White Castle? Why didn't he go on? Since he's going to use all these
same way.
White this.
Yeah. I guess you could have gone White Castle because White Castle, but Waffle House, I think, probably has more pull.
No, Waffle House is a southern charm place. There isn't a Waffle House near here. There is not a Waffle House is throughout the South. White Castles, I think White Castle might be through more of the across the country than
but I feel like the closest one is like in the New York area. I don't. At least that's when I've been.
Yeah, it could be.
We got one here,
but there's no Waffle House in New York. I can tell you that.
No.
And Waffle House, I think, as far as it goes up, it might get to Virginia. It might get to maybe Philly, but I doubt it. So I just say down south. That's where Waffle House has generated all their foods and their legendary fights in the middle of the night.
What do you think, Max? Since you posed the question, obviously, are you more inclined to agree with Jalen that it's not necessarily an appearance that is tied to whatever your political standing, your political belief is? It's celebration of team, and that's why you're there, simply to be honored by the, establishment, of the presidency and the White House and all of that comes with it. That's been a tradition, albeit not necessarily an annual one, because there are teams that have skipped it, but a tradition that has gone on for a long, long time. Or do you think people are, at least in the NBA community, and we know some coaches certainly are, on the whole, so repulsed by Donald Trump that for the next 4 years, as you said, they no, we're out. Like, if we win a title, we're not going.
No, I can't imagine one going. Jaylen Brown can say that, but Jaylen Brown is very active politically. So I can understand, but again, you have to be invited also to come to the White House. Remember when it first happened, I think Golden State said, no, we don't want to go. And Trump said, well, I didn't invite you anyway.
Right. Yeah.
I just can't see an NBA team going. I don't see a WNBA team going. Does Major League Baseball go now? Especially with all the stuff about the people from Latin America, which, do you see one of those teams going? I mean, football, Bosa went, I think he was big with the president with San Francisco when they won it. But I can't see NBA. I don't see Major League Baseball, WNBA. I tell you, I got one. NASCAR. They'll be there. And then Johnny Jones Bones Holmes, or whatever his name was, he did the Trump dance and gave him his belt the other day. So maybe that might, because what's Dana? What's Dana's name?
Dana White.
White is big in Trump world.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be up to a team thing. I mean, we'll see. I obviously see.
Dude, come on. Look, I want both of you guys to have some balls. Come on, man.
I mean, if it were up to me,
yeah, thank you.
And my teammates didn't feel comfortable going, then I wouldn't go. I'd be like, look, man,
how about you? Would you
me
go?
Personally?
Would you go?
Probably not. Okay. I mean, look, man, we live in Massachusetts. I think people could probably guess how I voted for things. It's not really a secret here. I live in the most liberal part of Massachusetts as well. I live towards the other end of the state, so wouldn't be shocking for me. But I could understand if my teammates didn't feel comfortable going either, and I'd be like, if they don't feel like going and I don't feel comfortable going, then we're not going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
that.
the divide. Like for me personally, and I didn't vote for Trump. Again, Massachusetts resident. Not that I don't know people in Massachusetts that did vote for Trump, but I align Democrat, always have. That's fine. But like when it comes to this, again, to me, and I'm not super politically oriented to begin with. So to me, it is more a celebration of team than it is how you feel about whoever is in office at that point in time. So I would sort of fall with the crowd, for lack of a better way of putting it.
So let me put you on the spot. If you're the team captain and I came to you right now and said, okay, team captain, make a decision here. Are we going to the White House? What would you say?
Does everyone have to follow?
I'm just asking you, your opinion.
I would go.
Oh, hell,
but I wouldn't go alone. If my teammates weren't comfortable going and didn't want to go, I wouldn't go.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But if you're saying, would I rather go versus not go and, be honored at the White House by whichever the president it is? Yeah, I just think that's I would love to talk to some of the players that were just there because I'll never know personally, obviously, to know like what the experience is like. Is it something that, now that you've done it, and I don't even know that they could put themselves in this extreme hypothetical, but now that you've done it, all right, now I told you the only way you could do it, you haven't done it, you're replacing the situation. The only way you could do it now is that you're swapping out who's obviously president. Trump is president. It's no longer Biden. Obviously, it's not Harris. Everything else that comes with it still applies. Would you go, or would you have skipped it? And I'd be curious to know what some of them would say, or I don't even know how truthful they'd be with it. Maybe it's something the kind of conversation you'd have to have off the record with them. You know what I mean? But I'd be wondering. I'd be curious.
And now, okay, let me tell you my opinion on it. Okay, they're eating your dogs and your cats. What the hell? No, I would not go. I know we're not supposed to be political when we talk about stuff like this in basketball, but if you listen to Greg Popovich talk about it, you listen to Steve Kerr talking about it,
sure.
A lot of the people who have been the hierarchy of the NBA have not been on that train. So, So
you're also naming two people that have been to the White House many times and been honored by multiple presidents.
But they wouldn't go now for this president.
Right. But what if it was your first and potentially only opportunity?
They
sing a different tune.
Maybe I had one opportunity to go this time. Did I go? I mean, I did what I did, and I'll let you guys in. I actually was tradition, the heritage. They had the thing for D. Brown, Tito, Gronk, Hamill, and it was somebody else. It was Parks. Were there, and they were all being honored. And D. Brown asked me to be his lead guy, to be the guy who spoke for him when he got up.
Presenter.
Yeah, so the presenter. So it was really cool, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience, and Sean Grandy ended up going, my broadcast partner, and he sent me back a message saying I chose wisely. So maybe that'll tell you what went on, and but good for them. I was happy to see them. Here's a bigger thing that I love: the fact that they were all dressed in suits. Didn't that just really make you feel good about, man, these guys?
Big deal to go to the White House.
Yeah, no. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the fact that they were dressed well. That's one thing. That's the one thing that hockey gets right. If you've ever seen these hockey guys come to a game or leave a game or go get on the bus, they're dressed in suits and ties. They're representing their brand. When I see my NBA players come in, and I know it's a different time, but when I came in the league initially, that's what they told you. Tom Heinsohn, Red Auerbach told me, when you're out in public right now and you're with this team, you're representing this team, have a suit, tie on. The only thing if you don't have a tie, have a mock turtleneck on. because you're representing a brand. Now, I don't know. Sometimes I look at these guys with what they're wearing. I can't even figure what the hell they're. Well, what is that? I saw Marcus Smart one time. He had on a robe from the hotel, and he's coming to the game. It's like, well, what brand are you representing when you do that?
The hotel.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have Tyler Hero, missing a game. He'll be sitting on the bench courtside in like a velour tracksuit or something like that. It's like not everyone does it up the way the KP does there in all the great looks that he's got. Although it does raise the question, it doesn't matter. We're so far off the rails anyway. But they've changed the rules in recent years. I don't remember how many years ago it was at this point in time, handful, whatever it was, that coaches no longer have to wear suits on the sidelines. Obviously,
but coaches are uniformed. They all have
uniformed. They all have on a quarter zip or whatever.
They all have on a black or sweater or whatever it is.
But would you rather that all that coaches were still wearing suits, or do you not care?
I would rather for the coaches to wear suits too.
Yeah,
it's just to me. I remember the Chuck Dailies. I remember the look of a Pat Riley when I looked at him going, absolutely. Oh, wow, man, that is so cool what he's wearing as a coach. I remember those days. So, yeah, those are days that I wish somehow could come back. I know they're not. I know I'm Scrooge right now, but that's just the way I feel.
I mean, I used to love Jay Wright. Just tune in to every Villanova game to see what Jay Wright's wearing. That guy was impeccably dressed.
Yes.
Every game.
What did that? Let me ask you this: what did that do for you when you saw a coach dressed like that?
Well, look, man, you're preaching to the choir here. I loved it. It looks like a little professionalism, like take it a little seriously.
Thank you.
And it's not like Jay Wright had to wear a suit to convey professionalism. The guy's an NBA, he's an NCAA champion. It's not like he didn't have to do it that way.
What was he conveying? Being a
excellence. Yeah.
Excellence. This is how you come to a game. This is how you represent. This is how I represent my university. Not in a freaking tracksuit. I mean, dude, really?
The White House pictures are the first time I'd ever seen Joe Mazzulla in a suit.
Oh, it was nice, wasn't it a nice picture?
I think Derek White wore a tux. I'm pretty sure Derek White had like a tux on.
That. I don't know.
I love the fact that they got dressed up. I couldn't have been more proud of seeing them. I mean, Jalen and seeing Tatum and the way, it was just so cool for me to see that. They represented the brand.
Again, you're preaching to the choir here, Max. This is all, I could go all day on this. I could rank them all if you wanted to, but we don't have time for that.
Okay.
We're going to take one quick break. Tell you today's show is powered by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everyone. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, Ev.
Yeah, Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an insurance policy so that if your lineups stay in play, even if one of your players gets injured, and if your player leaves the game the first half, doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. And Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if lineup isn't perfect. You can still double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Kaufman, nobody, and I mean nobody in the industry is coming close to the kinds of perks that Prize Picks offers on a daily basis.
It's not hyperbole. That is fact. So if you think Steph Curry's going to get more than, say, 4 3-pointers next week, or Anthony Edwards more than 27 points, cook up your hot takes with your friends and then go out win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use the code. It is CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is CLNS code. What's that, Ev? What's that code? CLNS?
Yeah, it's our initials, CLNS. Easy.
Nice and easy. $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Let's get back to the show. So I know that Joe and the players have been, speaking of preaching, they've been preaching since, training camp that pages turned as soon as really, as far as they were concerned, they showed up post media day. The page was turned. Other people might have said the page was turned after the ring ceremony and the hoisting of the banner. Well, this right here, unless I'm mistaken, was the, final celebration, acknowledgement of banner 18, this White House visit, which team's off to a banner start, pun intended, I guess, 13-3. And we'll talk a little bit about what they've been doing lately, including that big win over the Cavaliers. But is this officially the line of demarcation, Max? Are we now fully, banner 18 is behind us, it's full steam ahead now that the White House visit has happened?
No, because you are still the reigning, what does it say? Reigning NBA champs.
Sure.
It doesn't stop until somebody.
But we're not still celebrating it, are we?
It's just like you go to an arena and you go someplace and they said the world champions are here. That was my mindset. That's how other teams look at it when they try to beat you. Every game that the world champions come in to your building, that represents an opportunity. It's like last night, Washington had no need to be in that game, but Washington played hard enough to be in that game. That game would have made their season. Every time you step out on the court, and I've said this to Brown, I've said to Tatum, anybody, you are representing not only that, and you're the Boston Celtics and you're the world champions. Come on. Do you think, oh, it's just another game when you go see the Lakers right now? Is that how you feel?
Absolutely not.
I might have the last couple of years, but they're playing better under Redick now.
But right now, the world champions are coming in your building.
No, absolutely. I'm not questioning whether or not.
So you don't believe
the red dot on the forehead, all that. Yeah. I just mean, are we as the greater we, the royal we, are we still celebrating last year, or is full attention now on this season?
I just got my ring last week. So what does that say? I just got my ring last week. So no, we're still celebrating from last year. That happens when to the victor goes the spoils. Until somebody dethrones you, you are the world champions. Now, is your mindset, should it be different? Like, okay, let's forget about what we did last year. Well, other teams haven't forgotten it. And when you played the Cavaliers the other day, and the Cavaliers were 15-0, and they were playing against, they had not lost a game. And how did the headlines read? Cavaliers 15-0. First time it's ever happened where they are playing right now the NBA champions. This is the first time. So are you still talking about the same thing? You are. Yes, you are. So don't if it's just because it's just because you got a pig and you put some lipstick on it, doesn't mean it's not a pig anymore. You're the world champions. You're still wearing that crown. So you should embrace it, be proud of it, but also be wary because there are teams that are going to come at you because you are the world champions.
You happy with that ring?
Excuse me?
You happy with the ring?
Oh, I love it. Matter of fact, I'm hoping I can show you guys the ring. Right? It's on the. Let me see if I can do this. It's gonna be really weird now. It's gonna be really weird.
Throw it up in front of the camera.
It's gonna be really weird now.
Oh yeah, unboxing. Here we go.
It's a full unboxing.
I think I need to put it
unboxing.
Tell me, can you see? You can see the box. Okay.
I see the box. Yeah.
See the box. Yeah. Okay. Boom, 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 boom.
Sorry, this is a real bummer for the people listening. But if you're watching,
this is good stuff. Okay, this comes out here.
Okay.
Here's the box. Here's the box. I got to turn around this way. I
nice
got
label on the front.
Label on the front of it. And this what happens when you take it out.
Oh, that's nice.
It's spinning.
Ooh. Is that battery powered? You have to replace that battery eventually?
Oh, yeah. The ring is spinning in the box. That's how they give it to you.
That's awesome.
Now, you guys
spare no expense.
You guys are the first ones to see this. When I saw it, I had a cow. This is the championship ring, and I think they actually have, my name is on the side. They have 2 other trophies in there. So I think they did it somewhat individualized.
Yeah.
With, you as a player. So this was my platform I had on that, I was doing the whole thing. And when you close it, everything goes down. But when you open it, it
starts spinning again. With the light going on when you open
Oh my God, dude. That is so cool.
Is how it's like Joe was talking about, like, where would I ever wear this? This is obnoxious. It's too big. My words, not his, but he, like, obviously these, I'm assuming, I know there are the levels of championship rings. And so,
Yeah.
You guys don't get like what the players get, but
No.
obviously that is a massive, gorgeous ring. Will you wear it around? Have you worn it around the last couple of days?
I have not worn it around. I have not been in that position where I was wearing it around.
That's only when you put on the 4-piece or the
No, this would be, you know what? I'm gonna wear this ring when I watch this, guys. Watch how I work this back in. I'm gonna wear this ring when I go to Los Angeles.
There you go.
So wait a minute. Are you saying I've let it go? I've turned the page? Is that what you're saying right now?
You have not turned the page.
Have I?
You don't have to. You're not out on the floor.
I turn the page when I go to LA, and this is the only time I'm gonna take this ring with me. No, I haven't. So you celebrate, to the victor goes the spoils, or however that goes. And I'm just happy that they gave me another ring, and this is ring number 4 right now for me. And right now, since you broke the tie with the Lakers, man, that is a really cool thing to have.
The quote unquote tie, since they didn't start counting Minneapolis until it was convenient.
That's what happens. That the counters always do that. But I did acknowledge them last year when I went in and saw their mid-season banner up there. I said, "Oh, wow, you guys got another flag up there."
But listen, so I've been thinking about this, actually. So I'm glad you brought that up. So okay. I think the in-season tournament is fine. You can have whatever thoughts you want on the tournament, but the banner, the hoisting of the banner, as the Lakers did last year, I think is embarrassing. I think that's like that's like the Kings franchise should do that.
Get the hell out of here.
But I'm not sure it's the Lakers' fault. Like that, I'm guessing that's NBA mandated, right?
Yes.
So like if the Celtics should have, that's why I don't want the Celtics to win the cup, because I don't want that banner in the rafters.
You know what? That is so cool, because I did hear and talk to Wick about that, about the banner. He said if I had won it, I would have hoisted it up. So yeah, if the Celtics win it,
I don't want it.
I don't think you have much say in this, Kaufman. I think the NBA is going to tell you to do it.
The title game of the NBA Cup.
I love this.
I don't want that banner.
I love Kaufman would say, you know what, that White House thing, I'm good with that. No, I would go, maybe I think about, but now we get to this banner and all of a sudden they're going, I don't want that. No,
I don't want that banner.
I don't want that.
We play for real championships in Boston, Max. You know that better than we do.
Well, we play for real championships, but at the same time, it's not really laughable when you think about each player. If they win this thing,
is it $500K?
Yeah, they get $500K per player. Yeah.
And I'm sure the cup,
more than others, but
the banner will probably have the Emirates logo on it somewhere. I'm sure they're paying for that. So I'm sure they want that. I'm sure they want that up there.
So put it next to the Beanpot banner.
I mean, that is just crazy to think that. And I talked to Mo Cheeks about that, a former player, a guy I played against him when he was with the 76ers. I said, Mo, can you imagine a game being played for $500,000 a man during my era? I mean, they would have had to have a fleet of ambulance outside waiting to carry. I gotta use this line. They carry motherfuckers out. Okay, that's what they would have had to do. Because you would have went to the hoop and you would have been looking both ways like this is gonna hurt.
No layups tonight. No layups. You gotta earn every one.
Yeah.
Half of
freebies around here.
We're talking
about like when Michael Irvin and Adam Sandler played pickup in Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Is that foul? I didn't call it.
But that's just crazy to think about. $500,000 for one game. One game.
Yeah.
And this
how mad is MJ right now? MJ must be pissed.
These are guys who go out. These are guys who occasionally go out. You think about guys when they were playing back in the day for a case of beer. Whoever wins is gonna win a case of beer. No, you're talking about what? We can go down to what you call and buy the truck and have the women come in deliver beer for $500,000. So I understand what you're saying. It seems kind of ironic when you think about the Boston Celtics. But if they win it, that banner is going up.
I know, dumb as it is. So, Max, like I said, 3 games since we last had a show. They were all close. I mean, eked out a win against the Raptors in overtime. Most recently, obviously in Washington, that was a competitive game till the end. The Celtics and credit Missoula, they're going for the point differential and getting as many free throws and everything as they could down the stretch. So,
why did Washington keep fouling?
I want to bring this up. Why did Washington help their point differential? This blew my mind last night.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that either.
If you're the coach and you're trying to get back at the Celtics, you're going, I'm not fouling. I mean, I'm gonna guard you. I'm gonna guard you even tougher right now, and I'm not calling the timeout either. I'm gonna hold the ball. So, what were the Celtics gonna do? Foul them so they could get the ball back and shoot? I mean, I understand the concept, but there's some flaws and there's some place, and the basketball guys don't like it.
Worked out for me though. I needed Tatum at a measly 15 points as part of a parlay. He got it with 11 seconds left in one of those trips to the free throw line. I was sitting there sweating, couldn't believe it was 0 for 10 from 3. You kidding me? This game against the Cavs in Boston, that was the marquee matchup of the week. It was the one that everybody had circled. Who would have guessed there would be such an important mid-November game between Boston and Cleveland? But when you come in at 15-0, I had said, Max, I don't know what you felt for one personally, but also what the vibe of the players was going in, because I mean, look, players today more or less are trained to say, like, no game is more important than another. We don't get up for it, blah, 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 blah. I was saying, at least my belief was like this, they cared. This game mattered. And it didn't matter because it was an NBA Cup game. It mattered because it was, it was a litmus test. It was it was a potential playoff preview. It was a reminder for the defending champs to, tell you who we are and who you are and who you're chasing. And that to me felt like a notable kind of contest. And Boston, I know it was a 3-point final ultimately, but Boston was running away with this thing early before the Cavs charged back late and made it a game. But was there something extra to this game for you? And did you feel like there was for the players?
If you think that the players did not care and there wasn't extra juice for that game, this is a national televised game. This is the biggest game right now this year on the circuit. So let me do like the famous John Belushi. Bullshit. You think that, for instance, that they didn't care? No, this was big time. It was a big time game, a big time performance for the Celtics, and and a lot of the national people left saying the Cavaliers have closed the distance. Did they realize that Porzingis isn't playing? That is a huge part of what the Boston Celtics do. Mobley was able to run roughshod because they didn't have any bigs in there really capable of slowing them down. When you put Porzingis in there, he's going to change the tenor of how you play this game. So the Cavaliers can look at it and national media can look at it and start saying, oh, well, Cavaliers have closed the distance. We don't know they've closed the distance until you get that 7'5" guy in shooting 3-pointers and blocking shots. Now you show me the real Celtics. And the real Celtics right now, this is still a very good team, a great team, but they're still missing a very key piece.
Quick break to tell you, today's show is brought to you by Arena Club. It's not easy being a fan of trading cards, of ripping open packs or ripping open repacks. It's all hyped up, this world of just opening a pack and having a Michael Jordan or a Wayne Gretzky or whoever your favorite rookie card is fall right into your lap, but with zero transparency on available cards and hit rates. It's just all a shot in the dark, man. Until right now, introducing slab packs from arenaclub.com, the only repack that provides real value, a complete view of all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. Now when I buy a slab pack at Arena Club, it finally feels like I know what I'm getting, that mystery box feeling, right? Like I understand you watch these unpacking videos, and part of it is like, oh, I want to see this guy's stupid face when he doesn't get anything. Or I want to see what happens that one time you pull that something that's super valuable. That feeling, no longer there. You know what's replaced with? One that makes you feel better. Arena Club slab packs are revolutionizing the repack game with transparency. And after your pools are revealed, they'll immediately be placed in your vault for safekeeping, for trading, and selling. You can have them officially graded by Arena Club. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CLNS. Crazy offer. 10% off. The $400 slab pack. That's $40 right there. That's arenaclub.com/CLNS for 10% off your first purchase.
I want to hang on this for a little bit because this is actually something I've been thinking about, and this is what I want. I wanted to see what I got in the first half of that Cavs game was, and I almost compare it to like Steph Curry and the Warriors, right? Every time Steph comes into somebody's building, it's always like the other team's biggest game of the year because of the history of the Warriors. And I thought this year when Golden State came into Boston that it was almost like Steph was like, oh, you guys think you're the champs? Okay, cool. Well, we've been there, done that several times, and we're going to show you how this is done. I almost felt like Steph, the way he carries himself, like personally, like just because you're the champ doesn't mean you're going to win this game tonight. Like we're going to handle this. And I think Steph carries himself like that with some of these measurement games, right? Whenever they're playing Denver or they're playing the Mavs or they're playing, whatever contender there is.
The Thunder now.
Yeah, he carries himself like you guys think you're something, but you're not. I'm Steph Curry. I'm here to win this game.
So you're saying that. So what you're saying is that there is a carryover from them being the champion.
Exactly.
That was a narrative a little bit earlier in your show.
Yeah, and I want in that Cavs game specifically, I wanted to see Boston come out with that same attitude of like, oh, you guys are 15-0, it's cute. Like, roll the ball out, let's see what happens. And in the first half, I'm like, yeah, this is exactly how I expect this to go. And I actually did expect Cleveland to have a little bit of a response, and they did. But at the end of the day, Boston was like, yeah, your 15-game winning streak's real cute, but not in here, guys. I think we saw that same attitude opening night against the Knicks.
Yeah.
Where all offseason you heard about the Knicks. Oh, the Knicks are going to be the best team Boston plays. They might even beat Boston, and Boston's like, that's cute. Watch this. And they win by like 30. So then on the flip side, Max, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this because I wanted to kind of paint this picture a little differently. So Boston, this is Saturday, recording this. Friday night goes into, D.C., coming off the White House. Obviously not super jacked up. Did you find it hard, in that next year after you won the title? And I'll throw Cleveland out there because Cleveland, that 81-82 year, they won 19 games.
Mm-hmm.
They had, I looked at the roster, I'm like, there's a lot of guys in here I've never heard of before. Like, did you go into that game thinking, like, let's just get out of here with a win. Who cares what it looks like? Let's just, let's get some cardio in tonight. Let's make sure we leave with a win, but let's not do anything crazy. Is that a mindset of the locker room when you go into like a game where it's like, who cares?
I think that you're talking about individual players. Like, for me, that is exactly how I was. And that is one reason why people always felt like, well, you're not playing hard. The one thing that I hated about playing with Larry Bird is that Larry Bird could play the same way against the same, opposing different teams, be it good, be it bad, or whatever. Giving the fans, oh my God, dare I say it, their money's worth, when they came there. Larry just had but I didn't, some of us as people, we need to be motivated. Sometimes we get motivated or jacked up a little bit more. It's like when like this, there was one girl you used to like in college, but there was another girl you really liked in college. So wait a minute, I'm going to put on extra cologne. Matter of fact, I might even take a damn shower, girl. I might put some lotion on my body. And that's the mindset that you start to have when you think about, okay, what am I going to do? And this is a little extra. Yeah, there's some extra sauce that certain players have. Larry played like that against everybody. He had that extra sauce. There's not a lot of players that play that way. That I
like Pritchard plays that way.
Yeah,
Pritchard plays like every game is his last game. He just goes out there and runs around like crazy.
You're right, and that is beautiful for him. But in an 82 game schedule, you're not going to have much in the playoffs. You ain't going to have too much left in the tank. And there was sometimes I felt like because Larry played so hard during the regular season, and not to say people on the coasting word, but he played so hard during the regular season, he didn't have that next gear sometimes to go up to. Yeah. And that's just the way I feel. But that's why I've been greatly maligned many times about, you didn't play as hard as Larry. Larry did this. Larry Bird was one individual that just did not want to be on that same page. And, I love people that say the 1986 Celtic team, that's the greatest team of all time. Don't we? How many times we heard that?
Mm-hmm.
How many championships did they win?
I mean, the one.
One.
Yeah, the one. One time.
I like how the guy goes just, they won the one. Yeah. But if you're that great of a team, aren't you supposed to win multiple championships? I don't want to hear this. I want to hear this crap about about guys getting old or getting hurt. That happens in sports. But if you're the greatest team of all time, shouldn't you win more than one championship?
Well, you might not be the greatest team of all time the next year. Roster changes, injuries. I mean, look at
they were this. It was essentially the same team that they bought back.
And I don't remember all the specifics of the 86-87 team. I'd have to look it up. But thinking about Celtics win, obviously, the first year, the new Big Three era, 07-08, and they were even better the following year after winning a title until KG got hurt, and then, everything went to crap. But, I mean, they were well on their way to making it 2 in a row and could have been a three-peat if not for, obviously, the way things went south in 10. Sorry,
that happens.
Yeah.
In sports. It happens that you have to line up the next game. And as we say, I have my condolences goes out to my friend Steve, who passed away at Fireflies, a big restaurant around here I've always gone to. But one thing we know, life is going to continue on. It doesn't stop. And the same thing when you talk about, when a guy gets hurt, there's still going to be another NBA game next week. There's going to be another game, tomorrow or whenever it might be. So when you have injuries, you have to suck it up and you have to play. Are we trying to say Kobe and them didn't have any injuries when they won? Bill Russell's teams didn't have injuries. So that's all I say, because I have many people who come up to me at the tradition the other day and said, man, oh my God, what a team that was. I was with you guys in 1986. And I will always say this, dude, I wasn't here in 1986. I got traded. What? No. You were here in 19. I met you in 19. I said, no, I got traded then. I wasn't on that team. I'm not hating on that team. They were a great team. But I just did, the greatest team of all time. I have some fundamental thoughts when it comes to the greatest team of all time. They only won one championship.
The thing that you mentioned before that I think is just, I think it should be highlighted, because it's easy for me to say, it's easy for Evan to say, we have no credibility on the topic, though. You do. You were in the league for a long time and, obviously played with hundreds upon hundreds of players. The fact that the whole guys are always giving it their all. You can't you can't give 110%. No, you can't give 110%. That's mathematically impossible.
Thank you.
But that also, you got to remember 110 may as well be considered 100, because not every guy is given 100% every single night. There are some nights where guys just aren't giving it their all. And maybe you're wired like a Pritchard. Maybe you're wired like a Larry. And,
maybe you're wired like a Cedric Maxwell.
Cedric
Maxwell. You have some of these games when you're going, oh, this is a real big game. Hey, guys, get on my back. I'll carry you across right now. Yeah. That was my mentality about playing the game. And I'm sorry, I'm not apologizing to anybody. But, that was my makeup as a player. Some guys play differently than others, and that's just it. We think about great Red Sox players, guys who play. How many times we heard Manny Ramirez get just creamed because he just did not, Manny's not giving it his all, and Manny's not doing this. But he was a world champion. But Poppy on the other side was giving it his all the whole time. So I hate that comparison.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just, again, if we're to look at these two games, right? Cleveland, Washington back to back. Like, they won them both, and Celtics had to maybe try a little harder toward the end than maybe they were necessarily at the beginning when they thought they might sleepwalk through that game a little bit. But like, I'm sorry, universally on the aggregate, like the Celtics were not, quote unquote, trying as hard against Washington as they were against Cleveland.
How'd it work out? How'd your parlay work out? What did you need to happen?
I got there. I
mean, you got there because of what? The ignorance of what? Of Washington? Is that how you got there?
I guess so. Look, they don't
win's a win, baby.
when you go to
Check
the
clears.
Cage, when you go to the cage with your ticket, you're going, I won this. Yeah, so I think that we can look at it and we can.
There's more money in the account at the end of the day than the beginning of the day. That's all that matters.
Absolutely, yes.
There wasn't, but the parlay hits. That ultimately is what matters. So now that we can, I felt like we've been talking about that game for 2 weeks, and would the Cavs still be unbeaten and Obviously, we saw the way it played out, but I don't want to, I feel like there's an element of us acting like, Boston steamrolled Cleveland, did in the first half, didn't for the game, won by 3 points. Mm-hmm. And so when you watch that, and it was, we used to talk about this a lot on the show, talked about this recently as well when previewing this game. I thought a couple of years ago, man, I know the Celtics did knock the Cavs out in the playoffs, but I felt like that if any team can really give Boston a run in the East, like I really like Cleveland. It feels like this group is coming together. And then last year, for a collection of reasons, injuries were a big part of it. They took a step back, but here they are in what is kind of a light Eastern Conference. The not to take anything away from the Celtics, obviously, and what they're doing, or even Cleveland and what they're doing, but the Sixers aren't going to make the playoffs, man. Like, that team is a train wreck. Milwaukee is obviously on, they'll find a way to limp in, but it's not a very good team. New York, I still do believe in. Indiana, I believe in.
I don't.
When I say I believe in them, I mean they can give you a good series like they gave you last year. I don't think there's any team in the East that without injury can knock off Boston.
You know what? You sound like those guys that have been talking to me. I was on a national radio the other day and said, well, the Indiana, they really gave the Celtics a tough time. I was like, they got swept.
It was a competitive sweep, Max.
They got swept.
Every game was close, though.
I don't care.
It was a contested sweep. But to that point, like if they see Cleveland again in the playoffs, 5-game series.
Tell me how many games Porzingis is going to play. No, how many games? Seriously, how many games Porzingis is going to play? How healthy are the Boston Celtics? If the Boston Celtics are healthy, the Cavaliers get one game.
Yeah.
If the Celtics are healthy, they get one game. If the Celtics are healthy this year, they win another championship. They get another banner. So let's just put that to bed now. Now you got the next game, which is coming up, the Chicago game, to go to Vegas. And I guess you're hoping right now that the Celtics lose so they don't
go to Vegas. Just don't bring home the banner.
That's like going to Vegas saying I'm not gambling. I don't think, as you get off the first time I went to Vegas, the first time I got off the airplane, I hear, I'm still right now getting off the plane. I hear
slot machines in the airport, Max. That's right.
Wait a minute. They do not have a slot machine in the airport in the waiting area as you get off the plane. Seriously? So you're saying go to Vegas and don't win. Okay. All right.
Put that thing in baggage claim just to kill time. Just keep ripping the handle on that. No.
Do you know how many times people have? I've talked to somebody about this in Vegas. How many times people have their bags keep going around the carousel and they finally take them off because people have forgotten their bags and they're just pulling. Oh my goodness.
It's an addiction, Max, an addictive behavior. There's no doubt about it. All right, we'll take a quick break, get right back to the show. But we got to tell you, today's show, it is powered by Game Time. Game Time is the easiest place to score tickets to whatever event you want to go to. Sure, basketball's coming, football's in full swing, baseball, depends where you live, I guess, but that's just generally behind us. You have hockey, that's going on right now. You want to swoop out to the Garden, watch the Bees, but it's not just sports. There's concerts, there's comedy, theater. Tickets can be found all over the place at Game Time. Even a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier, Ev. And Game Time Picks, it filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so that you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets.
And they have this new thing, Kaufman, called the Super Deal. I don't know if you've seen this yet, if you've been perusing the Game Time app, but basically what happens is Game Time will show you pick like we always talk about the Celtics in the show. Let's say we wanted to go to opening night and you pick you're looking through the ticket options. They'll have something called the Super Deal, which means it's in the top 1% of all tickets available for that event. If it has that super deal, you better pounce immediately because those tickets will not be there long. They're too good of a deal. And with Game Time, Kaufman, you get all-in pricing, seat views, which are the best, and the lowest prices guaranteed, right? And let's say you find better prices somewhere else, Game Time not only will refund you your money, they'll give you an extra 10% on top of that. Kaufman, you can be making money with Game Time.
This isn't just a price match. It's a price match plus.
Who's doing that? Nobody's doing that out there in this particular landscape, Kaufman, and I mean nobody.
Listen, you work in retail. You're not doing that.
I couldn't run this store. I couldn't have a business if I did it that way. Nobody could do that.
Game Time will do it, though. Lowest price guarantee, like Ev said. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code. It is CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that code CLNS. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code CLNS. $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Let's get back to the show. So who to you is if the let's you can't presume health, but for the sake of the conversation, let's presume health. Who is the Celtics' biggest threat in the Eastern Conference? And when I say biggest threat, I also want you to label that. Like, to what degree are they even a threat?
That would be Orlando Magic. Because
sir. I love this.
I think that they're capable.
Without Paolo?
So what?
Without Paolo?
He's coming back.
Well, he's coming back, dude.
Okay.
He'll be back.
I just didn't know if you were looking at them right now and saying they're the biggest threat.
No, I think right now, looking at them, I still believe they're the biggest threat. I think that they're well coached. The way they are going to hurt you right now is they're going to play the interior. They have got the Wagner brothers. Those are junkyard dogs. And how do you slow the Celtics down? That's how you slow them down.
They're defensively very good. And I think that's, if you're going to try and with your length, right, and with the size of the guys, like they just have a bunch of dudes that are like 6'8" and taller. And like it's not like Suggs is on the shorter side, but he's also an incredibly good defender at guarding smaller guys. I'm not saying Derek and Drew are small guys; they're big in their own right. But when you get to the switching part, which is what, if you look at the Cavaliers, the reason why a lot of people might not view the Cavs as a legitimate threat to Boston is because their two guards in the backcourt are 6'1" and 6 feet. Meanwhile, Drew's 6'3".
No, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Donovan Mitchell is 6'4", isn't he?
Is he 6'4"?
Yeah, he's good size.
He's good size.
And the other kid was just horrible the other day. He was what?
Yeah, but you can pick on those two guys defensively.
3 for 24. They will do a job when it comes to Garland. They go at Garland. But what I like about the Cavaliers, and I was going off the board for you guys. The Cavaliers is the one team that I say if the Celtics get in a 7-game series, they're going to have to earn it. They're going to really have to earn it. They're going to play hard. They're going to play smart. I don't think that Orlando is going to beat them. But I think Orlando would put more of a scare in you right now than any other team right now in the Eastern Conference.
That's fair. And again, their length defensively, I think, is what makes that tough, because you can't attack a guy like they don't have a Garland out there that you can attack all the time. You know, a lot of those guys are bigger. Like Paulo's 21 years old and he is ginormous. Like the guy's huge. Wagner's a bigger guy. They bring Jonathan Isaac off the bench. He's a bigger guy. You know, they're just, there's not a lot of, you know, they call it the killer whale offense. There's not a lot of SEALs out there for Orlando for you to pick on. And if they're hot, then, you know.
Yeah, their size, and I think their youth really is something that, to me, because sometimes when you're youthful, you just go, I can do anything. I can run through a wall. Whereas an older team would see the Celtics as more of a dangerous opponent. Whereas a team like Orlando, I would hope that the Celtics don't have to face them. I think that they will give you a more of a scare than anybody else.
West Max is fascinating because, you know, you've got the Lakers who are playing, you know, really well under Redick. I don't know if we need to, are we at the point where JJ Redick is deemed a good coach? I'll let you weigh in on that in a second, but they're 10-5. Ime's Rockets are 12-5. So took a year to figure it out, but Udoka's got his team playing real well. Thunder are right where we expected at 12-4. Nuggets, you know, slow start. There have been some injuries there, but they'll figure it out. They'll get there. Clippers, I don't think it holds up, but they're 10-7. But top of the conference right now, those effing cockroaches. You can't kill Golden State. You can't kill Steph Curry, man. This team is not going anywhere.
They have, he is the greatest shooter in the history of the NBA. I talked to his dad, Dale Curry, and I said, your son has destroyed the NBA that I know. And he said to me, there's a lot of shot takers, but not a lot of shot makers. And he is so right. The three-point shot, if you go any place and you see kids out, they are practicing all this stuff in the arm, and I got a three. Dudes sometimes at the Garden, I work with organizations that come in. First thing these kids do is they run out beyond the three-point line. I said, son, try to make a damn two to see how you had it right now.
Yeah.
So, but Golden State with Steph Curry, their mentality, get Buddy Hield coming in. He's played well for them. I think their defense, though, it can be a little suspect. They played well against the Celtics, but then they went right to the Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers have them down by 30-something. So I'm not the believer that other people are in Golden State right now when they start hitting some of these other teams.
I have a basketball related question, Coffin, to ask Max. It's like
the right place, Ev.
Well, and it has nothing to do with the Celtics and how they're currently playing. It's about a former Celtic assistant coach and how he's doing in Charlotte. Okay. And I wanted to get your opinion on, because I have a pretty strong opinion on this. Charlotte fans freaked out that Charles Lee benched LaMelo Ball at the end of a tight game. After, you know, Melo he was like 3 of 13 from three. He was at an awful shooting night. But people are like, you don't bench your star player at the end of a close game. And I'm like, I think Charles Lee's trying to establish a culture of accountability here. And I just don't understand how people aren't seeing that. The only guy on that team that's had any championship success, and he's done it twice with two different organizations, is Charles Lee. And this gets back to the, you know, carry yourself like a champion sort of thing. We talk about Steph. And this is why I thought about it. Because, again, Steph holding everybody in that organization accountable, right? They're having a great season in part because of Kerr and the way he set everything up. Curry's brilliance, but also the way they carry themselves. So look at people freaking out that Charles Lee benched LaMelo. Like, LaMelo's accomplished. I mean, look, Melo's accomplished more in his life than I'll ever accomplish in my life, but in a basketball sense, hasn't won anything. They've never been to the playoffs. The only guy that has is the guy coaching the team.
It's a great message that he sent of accountability, especially for a young team. I'm the head coach. How many times have we seen, and I think this is in today's world anyway, you don't have any kids, do you? Okay, and
No, I
then
don't.
and your running partner, you have kids, don't you?
3, yeah.
Okay, you have kids. So there's a hierarchy. And now, yes, the wife is, we know where she's at. You know, the queen protects the king and all that. But as a dad, you understand sometimes, as my dad used to say, I would say, but I didn't do anything. He said, well, son, sometimes the good got to suffer with the bad. And I hated that line, but I understood it later on in life that he was setting a standard of how things were going to go. And Charles Lee has set a standard. Look, Melo, if you're not playing well, we're not going to have you out there. If you're not busting your ass on the defensive end and not being held accountable, then we're not going to go anyplace. That's the thing I say about Larry Bird was so good. The fact that he did hold other people accountable. And when you hold people accountable as your leader of your team, then you're going to start to win some games. Now, we look at, you just said a minute ago, you brought up Philadelphia. Who's the leader of that team right now? Is it Joel Embiid? Or is he getting called out by Maxey right now? Mm-hmm. That's a absolutely mess down there in Philly right now. I mean, but here I ask both of you guys a question. You got all these other teams in the NBA right now. Would you trade for Joel Embiid?
I mean, depending on the team, not on the Celtics. I want him nowhere near Boston.
Not the Celtics, but you got a lot of other teams.
If I'm a team that is building something in the right direction, no, I wouldn't want a guy like that coming in and derailing it. But again, like I am also.
How about Minnesota?
No,
absolutely not.
But nope. Max, like I'm also the person that, you know, go back to, like, I know what Kenny Atkinson's doing with Cleveland right now. Look at what he was doing, what he was building with Brooklyn before they traded for Durant and Irving, and what they were, you know, I know like D'Lo was the face of the thing. It's not obviously a marquee name like the others, but you know, where they were kind of ascending and they tried to skip a whole bunch of steps and hope that stars were going to get them to the promised land. It didn't work. But I didn't like those moves. I thought that was stupid. And obviously it, you know, it elevated them, but it didn't work out in the end. Ultimately, they didn't win anything. You know, that's, if I'm a team like what Brooklyn was before, if I'm again, I got some pieces, I got the right coach, not someone who's going to get undermined. I'm, you know, it might take a little bit, but I'm on a slow ascent. You know, Joel Embiid is one of the last guys I'm looking to acquire to come in and take down that ship.
I think in a secondary role, and could a great player, could he resurrect himself in a secondary manner of going to a team? Well, Joel Embiid brings a lot more. He can rebound. He can play defense. He can block shots. But you know, again, you know the injury problems. But I mean, think about how Kawhi Leonard was viewed for a while. People are like, "Oh my God, Kawhi Leonard, the greatest power." Now, Kawhi Leonard is going to the Hall of Fame. But in the last 3 years, would you take Kawhi Leonard?
No.
No, I mean, he can't stay on the floor.
I'm just thinking about this. Like, what team, if I were a team that was looking to bring in Embiid, I would need excellent structure in place. And it's so funny because, like, I think there's only one team where he would be held accountable by someone that's better than him, and that's Golden State. Like, because everybody, you better fall in line with this team. Like, not a lot of teams could take that on because they don't have the hierarchy that you would need to hold Embiid. Because nobody's, and this is like one of my favorite bits that Michael Lombardi does, is a football guy that talks Sixers because it drives him crazy that Philly's allowed Embiid to get away with everything his entire career. You would need someone with legit power to hold him accountable for all the stuff that he's gotten away with over the years. And there's not too many guys that can hold an MVP candidate in check like that. I think Steph is one of the few people in the league that could do it. And again, I don't know him personally, but all the things that you read about Steph Curry as a teammate, but he's the greatest teammate of all time. Like, it's not even just, it's a great example. It's not even just Curry though. It's Kerr.
You got the,
you could. I would agree with that. I would agree with that for sure.
You got the coach. You got the established coach who's not going to be undermined. And you've got the star player who's not going to be undermined.
And dare I say it? How about Draymond Green in the mix too, though? Because he's whatever it is, he's going to hold you also accountable. Look what he did with Kevin Durant. He ran Kevin Durant out of there. I mean, and Kevin Durant was a 2 times Finals MVP.
Yeah.
On that particular team. So I think that you really have to have that real structure as a coach and as an organization. How about this? How about Joel Embiid to the Houston Rockets under Ime?
I would love it. I would love Ime and him. Oh my goodness.
Let me play my Jeopardy game here. Who is Embiid? Who is, I do like this, who right now who's going to be the coach? I would take that guy right now. I go, Ime Udoka. Who is Ime Udoka? That would be one of those things I think that will work because Ime Udoka is going to hold him responsible. Because I don't see Doc Rivers didn't do it.
No.
But Ime looked like he ready to go to war, like he ready to fight. Like you want to get out of line, dude? Let's go in the back room. Let's swing on each other.
No more back rooms for Ime.
No, yeah. Wow.
I'm trying to think. I mean, it wouldn't be a good.
Did you really Did you really go there?
Heck yeah, I did. I'm not saying that.
I gotta call Nick Jolson, the president of this man. We gotta put you on suspension right now. Wow.
He'd call me up and shake my hand.
Yeah, he probably would.
Give me a raise.
Probably would.
Ime and his impure actions. The fit. I'm not saying the fit would make sense, but another example in terms of, clear player in front and a coach who could handle it. Denver. That would be another one.
Yeah, but you can't have those two play in the same court at the same time.
I'm not saying the fit makes
sense.
But
I see your point.
Yeah.
Michael Malone, yes.
Yeah.
I think in this league right now,
that's a good one. That's a good suggestion.
I think in this league right now, there's only a handful of coaches that have that in them that you feel like, okay, they're ready to go to war. And Ime would be, Michael Malone would be one of them. Yeah, Kerr because of his pedigree and what he's done. You remember he was the same one that told Joel Embiid in the Olympics in a particular game, you're not gonna play.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid you didn't see him pissed off and nothing, like, oh, okay, let's do what we do. So I just think this Joel Embiid thing is fascinating for some teams out there that might want to take a chance. Sean Grandy asked me, my broadcast partner, said, do you think that Joel Embiid could win a championship? I said, not in Philly, but on another team. Now how about this one? I give you one other one, and you guys gonna go, heck yeah. How about Miami?
I was thinking this. My question is more about the city of Miami's effect on Joel Embiid, not the actual team itself.
Who's going to keep him in line? Is
Pat
Riley's running a tight ship.
I don't know. How tight a ship is Riley running at this point? Look at Butler.
Is Jimmy still around? Because Jimmy and Embiid already have history.
Yeah. So I think that would be one of those things. Okay, because right now, believe it or not, guys, you might be able to steal him from Philadelphia for, a bag of bones. So, and if you're Miami, you got these pieces down there. You put Joel Embiid in a situation where he's playing with Jimmy in that Miami structure. And what do they always say? The Miami culture, the culture of Miami.
Heat culture.
The heat culture. So you put him in that heat culture. Eric Spoelstra. I think that would be a great fit for him right now.
Yeah,
Does that scare you though if you're the Celtics?
No, it still doesn't scare me. But
until Embiid gets the best of the Celtics, you put Embiid in any situation other than Golden State anyway, and Embiid is not going to scare me.
Okay, all right, I give it to you. I give you that.
I agree with that. I've never sweated Embiid in my life, so that's just the way. I mean, That's just the way it goes. Tatum and Brown have owned him his entire career. Not a big deal. I loved it.
All right, we'll wrap it there. We've kept Max long enough, although it's always fun. We can talk for hours. I mean, we haven't talked for over an hour. We could talk hours and hours with the man with now 4 rings, including his latest championship ring, coming off of a birthday. 70 is on the cusp. It's right around the corner. The finals MVP.
You know what makes that 70 real good?
What's that?
Next year at this time, I will be in line for my Social Security.
Well earned. Well earned.
The full earned.
Well earned, baby.
So yes, you get the max that you can get at 70. I waited
Been
around.
contributing forever.
I see people checking out at 69 and 60. I've waited for this thing. So, look, Cedric Maxwell was living beyond 10 years after the 70 thing. After he hits it, he's going to go back to Charlotte and feel real good.
Living infamy. We love this man. Cedric Maxwell, again, check him out on the Celtics radio broadcast. Check him out as part of the CLNS Media Network as well. Of course, the Cedric Maxwell Show. And Max, we love having you on, man. We'll do it again. We'll bug you again soon.
Man, it was great being on with you guys. And my last thing I have to show you right now is I got this, and it was signed right now by your man, Clued.
Oh, no kidding.
No way.
Clued signed this for me.
Until someone had put something on social media, I had no idea he was an assistant coach on the Blues staff. Until that was,
I'm always messing with the guys in security down there. I'm saying, when's Clued coming back? And they say, he'll be back next week with the Blues. And I was like, yeah. And we were out of town. And the first thing they did was they came up, they give me this puck that he assigned. So here's another thing. So I got my ring and I got my Clued puck with me right now. So I'm good.
Yeah, Max is a champ. He's got a puck from another champ. Last championship that the Bruins did win. And they're like 6 coaches later or whatever. It's not that many.
Wow.
All right. Let's at least one team from the Garden is representing right now. For Evan, I am Adam. Thanks for hanging out here with us. And Celtics 13-3, and just for people marking their calendars, Sunday 3:30 game at home against the Timberwolves. Clippers at home on Monday 7:30, and then nice little Thanksgiving break. Not back at it until Friday night in Chicago. First of a little 2-game trip. So Max,
hey, but you know what? Put it in there. That the Chicago game is important because the Celtics have to win that game if they're going to advance.
Got to get that banner, man.
Got to get that banner. Because, if they get the banner, I'm going to make sure you have a hand in, at least pulling up to the raft.
Max, you leave me a ticket. I'll be there, buddy.
Absolutely, buddy.
Happy holidays.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.